All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are digging into the wild story behind those weird little bumps you see on leaves and trees. It's a tale of genetic hijacking, miniature fortresses, and a tiny mastermind controlling a giant.
I bet you've seen these, right? You're out for a walk, maybe in a park or through the woods, and you spot one of these strange, intricate growths on a leaf or a stem, and you just have to wonder, what in the world is that? You know, for literally thousands of years, people have looked at these things and thought, is that some kind of weird fruit? I mean, they look organic, they look intentional, but not quite right. Or maybe you thought it was some kind of plant disease, like a tumor. But see, a tumor is just chaotic, uncontrolled growth. These things, they are super organized, almost beautifully complex. The real story is just way more astonishing. So let's get right into it. Who's the culprit behind these incredible structures? Well, it's not a disease at all. It's an architect. So check this out. The creature responsible for these things is an absolute master manipulator. It can basically bend a huge ancient oak tree to its will, forcing it to stop what it's doing and build a custom home from the ground up. And this is what's going to blow your mind. The mastermind behind this whole biological takeover is a teeny tiny wasp, often no bigger than a single grain of rice. Yep, these are gall wasps. They are the undisputed champs of making galls. I mean, they have perfected this incredibly sophisticated strategy over millions of years. They don't just find a place to live, they literally force the plant to build them a house. So the big question is, how in the world does an insect that small pull off such a huge feat of bioengineering? Well, the answer is pretty wild. It's basically a direct hack into the tree's DNA. It's this super precise 4-step biological heist. First, the female wasp injects an egg, but she also injects this unique chemical cocktail right into the plant. Then, once the little larva hatches, it starts sending out its own chemical signals to hijack the tree's growth hormones. And this, right here, is the key moment. It actually reprograms the plant cells, telling them to stop being a leaf or a stem and start building this gall. Finally, that gall becomes this powerful funnel, sucking all the tree's food and nutrients right into this one spot to feed the larva. And this nutrient sink, it's basically a metabolic black hole. Seriously. The gall suddenly becomes the tree's #1 priority. It starts pulling all the sugars and amino acids away from the tree's own leaves and fruits just to feed this one little larva inside. So what you get from this whole genetic heist is way more than just a weird lump on a leaf. It's a custom-built, multi-layered fortress, and it's designed for one purpose and one purpose only: to protect and feed the wasp's baby. I mean, really think about it like a fortress. It's got an outer skin to protect it from the rain and sun. It's got a hardened woody wall to stop birds from pecking through. And on the inside, it's a nutrient-rich pantry that the larva can just feast on. And it's even got its own plumbing. It's tapped directly into the tree's vascular system for a constant supply of food and water. It's incredible. And what's really cool is that the wasp's chemical blueprint is so specific that different species of wasps will force the same exact tree to build completely unique galls. I mean, they're basically creating biological sculptures. Take this, for example. You might see the oak apple gall, this big spherical thing. These are so full of tannins that for over 1,000 years, people actually harvested them to make ink. We're talking about the very ink used to write the Magna Carta, no joke. Or you could stumble upon this crazy-looking thing, the wool sour gall. It looks just like a fuzzy ball of cotton, right? Well, this spongy thing isn't for just one larva. It's a whole apartment complex, housing tons of wasp larvae inside all that fluff. And then you get some that are just truly bizarre, like the robin's pink cushion. You'll find this one on wild roses. It's the striking, mossy gall covered in these spiky little growths. Honestly, it looks like something from another planet, not an insect's nursery. But wait, the story doesn't stop with just one little wasp larva. Oh no, these galls are so successful that they become the center of their own tiny universe, a whole stage for a really complex drama. Okay, so a single gall is basically a tiny biodiversity hotspot. You've got the architect, right? That's the original larvae that started the whole thing. But pretty soon you get these uninvited tenants, other insects that just move in to share the space.
Then the assassins show up. These are other parasitic wasps that lay their eggs inside the architect larva. It's brutal. And the whole time, you've got raiders, like birds, trying to break through the gall's defenses to get that juicy prize inside.
So, what does this all mean? It leaves us with a really mind-bending idea. A gall isn't really a part of the tree. It's probably better to think of it as an external organ of the wasp itself. It's a physical expression of the wasp's DNA, an architectural blueprint built by a completely different creature. So the next time you see one of these on a walk, remember, you're not just looking at a weird part of a plant. You're looking at a tiny insect's fortress, built by a giant that it has completely mastered.